Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are here to wrap up now the last and final 3 cells of Escape from Kyln. And this is going to be ranging from Liberty to Immortal X-Men. But in my honest opinion, guys, it really is the Liberty show, just because of we had a chance to try out some different Immortal X-Men and no luck. So let me show you guys the characters I'm using. As you can see on screen, Captain America Sam, we got Peggy Carter, as well as Falcon with Keen. These are the 3 members that work for myself. And as you can see, guys, I do want to point out real quickly here, I had Captain America Sam here actually as an isolate healer. That sustain was huge. I got Peggy Carter here with Striker. Remember, even though my team does have 2 strikers and a healer, there are some vulnerables that can be cast from them. So let's get into the gameplay here. This is how I have it situated right now, and again, with Escape from Kyln, you can actually separate your characters so that way they're not getting attacked adjacent to each other. So just a little tip there, that way you're not grouping them together. Start things off here in this next cell here against this hive mind mixture with some Sinister Superior 6 characters. I do like to target Void Knight and Red Goblin, just because in my opinion they're probably the 2 most dangerous enemies to go up against here. Gundam can grant energy, but it's really Red Goblin, and as well as Void Knight having more of that damage offensive output, and as well as crowd controlling aspect. We'll go here. You can see we're just doing some good work here, and we're just targeting that right side. And again, just making sure. And what I really like about this Liberty team is that they've gained the benefits of the war as if they have their full team, right? So especially with the big ultimates here from Joaquin, he can generate ability energy, and he can actually do damage at the same time. You can see the safeguard, the buffs that we're getting on our team. You're never really in a position where it feels like you're in danger because of the synergies that we're getting here. And then even when you are off your buffs there, you have Captain Sam coming back with the special, granting defense up, ability energy, and so forth. So you can see a couple enemies down already. We're going to target and finish off that Void Knight there. There are a couple more enemies that do spawn, but again, they're just not a problem whatsoever, just because of the synergy that we have right now. You can see we're just basically snowballing here, and again, just take your time with it. When you're down to the last enemy or 2, this is where I recommend just switching over to basic abilities, just because you can see how more powerful we are than the enemy, and we can take our time with it and generate more ability energy as well at the same time, making it for an easy finish, and at the same time as well saving our cooldowns for the next cell where it matters more. Okay, so I would definitely say this one is more problematic than the last one, because you do have to know who to target. So first and foremost, Kahori and Old Man Logan should be the priorities, but I'm actually going to target Panda Pool by using an ability block at the beginning, because what actually happens and plays out is that if Panda Pool uses his ability, he actually gives Old Man Logan a heal. So we want to target Panda Pool first. As you can see, we target him directly, and now we can actually target Old Man Logan. As you saw, it doesn't really matter the ability, so as long as you're targeting it correctly. With those 2 taken care of, this node actually becomes a super easy cell now to deal with. I would focus on Kahori next, just because again, she's probably going to be the big damage dealer here. Dakin's likely going to be selfed anyway, so you probably won't have too many choices. And Miss Marvel Classic, all she is a tank. She's not going to be doing any damage to the team whatsoever. So as you can see right there, boom, 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 already 3 enemies down. So at this point, we just have to get through the taunt. But again, target the damage dealers like Dakin, and then as well as Medusa as well, because she can do quite a bit of damage if left untamed. Hank Pym is going to give some support here and there, but again, the synergies of Liberty, the buffs that we have, the ability generation that we're getting, we can just absolutely snowball this cell. In my honest opinion, the last floor and this one is really just knowing how to target the right enemies at the right time. It's the last floor that you'll see next up with Annihilators. We're going to require probably a little bit of resetting, a little bit of finessing, but we were able to work down a strategy as well. So now you're at a point where the team is the enemy is actually getting some resistance, if you will, trying to protect themselves with their buffs and whatnot. But again, we just gotta withstand the attacks and then resume the game plan here, which is targeting the Medusa, the damage dealer, right, and making sure that she's taken care of. And then once it's just Panda Pool and Miss Marvel, the classic, there's not really much they can do. Panda Pool will probably be the easier target to take care of, because as we saw from the previous cells as well, this Miss Marvel is usually really tanky, so you do want to leave her for the very end. And it's nice having a targeted enemy as tanky as her, because at the end you can just build up your ability energy once again, and that really kind of helps set up the stage for the last and final floor for this Escape from Kyln event as well. You see we're just doing attacks here, yeah, business as usual. And then again, once you're able to pivot, actually this, you know, because of how long and how tanky she is, you probably could use an ability or two if you wanted to just speed things up, because the basic ability might just be a little too slow as well. It's kind of what I found when I was doing it. But once you take down Panda Pool, you can just focus on the Miss Marvel. So you can see, yeah, she just gets a lot of buffs. And then again, Panda Pool is just not as tanky, so I just skipped some footage there just to save you guys a bit of time. I think it was like a minute straight of attacking her, and then we are able to finally get the finish here. And then that's going to leave us here now with the last and final floor, which in my opinion is probably one of the hardest floors that we've had to face, just because we're going to be up against some Annihilator synergies, and you got to work around that Thanos endgame mechanic too. So this is what's tried and true and worked for me, guys. And again, you may have to reset this a few times to get this to work. So very important. At the beginning, you do want to use the ultimate on Thanos endgame, but the common strategy for this node is we want to use our abilities quick and fast, but we also want to be targeting the left side of the enemy. So you can see there, I was able to double back there with another ultimate to cast the ability block on Thanos endgame, and then we're also going to use Captain Sam here with his ultimate actually to clean up here. So you can see here, boom, we are now specifically just aiming on that left side, trying not to hit Thanos, because if he triggers his passive, that's where it can hurt us quite a bit. So now we're kind of just aimed at Gore, and really the main target we should be aiming for actually is the blade that's behind him that just spawned. So we go ahead now. Once again, there's a couple things you can do. Make sure you're kind of spot checking where your team is at. So I saw that I needed buffs, so I activate Captain Sam's special, grant some ability energy, and we're going to target Gore just because he's really the only one we could target. But now that there's a taunt on Blade behind him, we are going to switch gears here a little bit actually. You'll wait for it, and again, this might take a little bit of finessing like I said, but once you're able to use the ultimates, you should be able to just target that left side, trying not to hit Thanos, because again, we don't want to trigger his passive. We want to be kind of careful as possible, using the abilities that we have at our disposal and kind of targeting everybody else that's a threat. And thankfully we should be able to, thanks to the fact that this team thrives on placing taunts on the enemies, which means we'll have free reign over that in a bit. But yeah, this is where the Annihilator's synergy is you know, a bit difficult, right? We were able to activate the special on Blade, and again now, yeah, you're in a good position, I would say. Target Blade as much as you can, because he has some really powerful abilities. Get a stun on him, get an ability block, whatever you can do to kind of slow him down. Once Blade's out of the picture, then we're in a lot better position to face the Thanos, and as well as the Gladiator. But honestly, if you leave Thanos for the end, that's kind of the ideal outcome, because some people may actually try to go for Thanos very early, and that can actually wreck you with the way that he resets his abilities, right? So especially the debuffs that we place on the enemies, very crucial here. So we're going ahead here now. The taunt unfortunately fell off of Blade, but we are able to target Gladiator, and because we pushed him past his limit, he also went stealth. So now we have free reign once again. And again, just the way that it kind of drew up, it took me a couple tries to get this right. It's not going to be perfect, but essentially, like I said, the strategy is the same, right? Just make sure you're not really aimed at Thanos and you're targeting everyone around him, so that way you can push as long as possible. Blade's down. This is the go ahead now. We can actually go ahead and target everybody else but Thanos once again, just to clean things up around him. He triggers his passive, but we're in a great spot now because most of the damage dealers have been taken care of, and now we can just kind of clean up things around him. And this is what I mean. Like when Thanos has his passive back to back with his ultimate, you can see how hard he can hit, and it would have been very dangerous with some of the other damage dealers around. Since why we had to clean this up and make it now put us in a more fortunate position here where we can actually thrive. Yeah, and then now that you're basically down to the last two, then I would target Thanos, because you're not going to get killed here by Man-Thing. So we're in a really great position here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, and leave him for the very end. He's very tanky again, guys. So you just use all your abilities because this is the very final end of the event. So yeah, so hopefully this is helpful, guys. Let me know if it was. And again, we only use these 3 members for the last 3 floors and the 3 floors before it. But honestly speaking, if these events return going forward, the investment kind of makes sense because we know we're going to be needing them in the future to do this for whatever future floors they add on to this event, right? That's kind of what they've done ever since the beginning. So hopefully this was helpful, guys. Let me know what you think, comments below. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.